Ever found yourself savoring a juicy sausage at a summer BBQ or indulging in sausage links for breakfast and thought, how exactly are these made? Well, you're not alone. Sausages have been a beloved staple in American kitchens for decades, from weekend brunches to backyard grill-outs. But have you ever wondered how they transform from raw cuts of meat to the delicious sausages we all know and love? Let's take a deep dive into the fascinating process of how sausages are made in those mega factories across the US. It's more complex and high-tech than you might think, involving everything from selecting the right cuts of meat to grinding, stuffing, cooking, and finally packaging. So, grab a seat and let's explore how your favorite sausages make it to your dinner plate. The journey of every sausage starts with one of the most crucial steps, selecting the right meat. In the US, sausage-making factories typically source their meat from top-grade suppliers who work under strict USDA regulations to ensure quality and safety. Whether it's pork, beef, chicken, or a blend of these, the meat chosen for sausage production needs to be fresh and free from any imperfections. Once the meat arrives at the factory, it goes through a rigorous inspection process to ensure that it meets all the required standards. Any excess fat, cartilage, or undesirable parts are carefully removed during the trimming phase. Skilled workers and machines collaborate to prepare the meat, ensuring only the best cuts make it through to the next stage. This is where the foundation of every sausage begins, and starting with high-quality meat is essential to achieving the perfect final product. The beauty of sausage making lies in its versatility. Factories can create a variety of sausages depending on the type of meat used. Pork sausages are among the most popular in the US, but you'll also find beef sausages, chicken sausages, and even plant-based options for the health-conscious crowd. After the meat is prepared and trimmed to perfection, the next step is grinding. In a typical American kitchen, you might be familiar with grinding meat using a hand grinder. But in sausage factories, it's a whole different ballgame. Large industrial-sized grinders take over this process, ensuring the meat is broken down to just the right texture. Depending on the type of sausage, the meat can be ground to various consistencies. For sausages like bratwursts, a coarser grind might be used to give it that hearty texture, whereas for smoother sausages, a finer grind might be preferred. These machines operate with incredible precision, allowing the factory to maintain consistency across thousands of sausages every day. During this step, the meat is passed through the grinder's blades multiple times. This process ensures that any remaining fat is evenly distributed, giving the sausage that perfect balance between lean meat and fat content. After all, it's that juicy, succulent bite that makes sausages so irresistible, right? Now that the meat has been ground, it's time to give it that signature flavor we all know and love. This step involves mixing the ground meat with a carefully curated blend of spices and seasonings. Factories have their own secret recipes that often vary by region or even brand. In the southern states, you might find sausages packed with bold, spicy flavors, while in the Midwest, milder options may be more popular. For most sausages, a base of salt and pepper is essential, but this is just the beginning. Factories also mix in spices like garlic, paprika, fennel, sage, and even red pepper flakes, depending on the variety. Whether it's a sweet Italian sausage or a fiery chorizo, the blend of seasonings is key to defining the taste. In large industrial mixers, the meat and spices are combined until everything is thoroughly mixed. These mixers ensure that every bite of sausage has an even flavor profile. Imagine trying to mix this by hand. It'd be impossible on such a large scale. The technology used here ensures that the seasoning is distributed evenly across thousands of sausages at a time. Once the meat has been perfectly seasoned, it's time for one of the most iconic steps in sausage making, stuffing the casings. If you've ever made sausage at home, you know how tedious this step can be. But in a factory, high-tech machinery makes this process look effortless. The casings used in sausage making are usually either natural, often made from animal intestines, or synthetic, depending on the type of sausage. Natural casings are popular in many traditional sausages, as they give that classic snap when you bite into them. However, some brands opt for synthetic casings for consistency and durability, especially when producing sausages at a massive scale. The machines responsible for stuffing operate with incredible precision, pumping the meat mixture into the casings at a consistent rate. It's amazing to see these machines work, stuffing hundreds of sausages in mere minutes. These casings not only hold the shape of the sausage, but also help retain moisture during cooking. Once the sausages are stuffed, it's time to cook or smoke them, depending on the variety. Cooking methods vary from factory to factory, but most sausages will either be pre-cooked for items like breakfast links or smoked for sausages like kielbasa or bratwurst. This is where the flavors of the meat and seasoning really come to life. In factories, large smoking chambers can handle thousands of sausages at once. These chambers are equipped with advanced temperature control systems to ensure every sausage is cooked evenly. Smoking adds a rich, smoky flavor to the sausages, which many Americans love. This is especially true for regions like Texas or the Carolinas, where BBQ and smoked meats are a big part of the local food culture. For pre-cooked sausages, the process might involve boiling or steaming. These sausages are often fully cooked in the factory and simply require reheating by the consumer at home. Whichever method is used, the key here is precision. Each sausage must reach a specific internal temperature to ensure food safety while retaining juiciness. After the sausages have been cooked or smoked, they undergo a rigorous quality control process. Factories producing food in the U.S. must adhere to strict standards set by organizations like the USDA and FDA. This means every sausage is inspected to ensure it meets the necessary criteria for safety, taste, and consistency. Machines are often used to weigh the sausages, ensuring that each one falls within a specific weight range. Additionally, spot checks are done to test the flavor, texture, and overall appearance of the sausage. Some factories even employ sensory experts whose job is to taste test random samples to ensure the product is up to standard. Of course, hygiene and safety protocols are also a huge part of this process. Factories are kept meticulously clean, with workers following strict hygiene rules to prevent contamination. It's this attention to detail that helps maintain the high-quality standards American consumers expect from their favorite sausages. Once the sausages pass quality control, it's time to package them for distribution. In modern factories, this process is almost entirely automated. Machines wrap the sausages in airtight packaging to ensure they stay fresh during transportation and while on store shelves. Most packaging is vacuum sealed, removing any excess air to prevent spoilage. In addition to sealing and freshness, the packaging is designed to be eye-catching and informative. Labels include nutritional information, ingredients, and best buy dates, all of which are carefully printed and attached by machines. Packaging is crucial, especially in the competitive American market, where consumers have a wide variety of sausage brands and types to choose from. The goal is not only to preserve the product, but also to make it stand out on the grocery store shelf. Once the sausages are packaged, they are stored in cold storage facilities until it's time to distribute them to stores. Factories rely on advanced logistics systems to ensure that their products are delivered to retailers across the country quickly and efficiently. Large refrigerated trucks are used to transport the sausages, keeping them at a consistent, safe temperature throughout the journey. Whether these sausages are heading to your local grocery store, a big box retailer, or a restaurant supplier, the focus is on maintaining the quality of the product from the factory to the store. At this point, the sausages have made their way from the factory floor to your local grocery store, ready to be cooked and enjoyed. Whether you're firing up the grill for a summer BBQ, making a hearty breakfast with sausage links, or adding them to a spicy gumbo, sausages are a versatile and delicious addition to any meal. Many Americans have their favorite ways to enjoy sausages. Some prefer them grilled and smothered in mustard at a tailgate, while others might enjoy them as a comforting addition to pasta or stew. No matter how you like them, knowing the intricate process behind how they're made can give you a deeper appreciation for the time, effort, and technology involved in every bite. And there you have it, the complete journey of how sausages are made in a factory, from the careful selection of meats to the final packaging and distribution. It's a process that combines tradition with modern technology, ensuring that you get a consistently delicious product every time. If you found this journey fascinating, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more behind-the-scenes looks at how your favorite foods are made. And hey, drop a comment below. What's your favorite way to enjoy sausages? Let us know and we might just feature it in our next video.
Hamburgers are one of the most beloved foods in America. But behind every perfect bite, there's an incredible journey that begins long before the patty hits the bun. In this video, we're taking you behind the scenes to show you how your favorite burgers are mass-produced in a factory. From raw beef to a sizzling patty, crispy lettuce, and those fluffy golden buns, you'll see just how amazing food processing machines and technology work together to create America's most popular sandwich. Trust me, it's not just about beef, it's a science of its own. Before we dive in, if you're a fan of seeing how your food is made, go ahead and hit that like button, drop a comment, and of course, subscribe so you never miss a bite of the action. The origins of the hamburger. Before we dive into the nitty-gritty of how hamburgers are made in factories, let's take a step back and look at where it all began. You may be surprised to know that the history of the hamburger stretches back to the late 19th century. Though hamburgers are a quintessential American food, their origins can be traced to German immigrants who brought their culinary traditions to the U.S. The term hamburger comes from the German city of Hamburg, known for its seasoned, minced beef patties. But it wasn't until American ingenuity met the mass production needs of the 20th century that hamburgers became what they are today. Popularized in the early 1900s by fast food pioneers like White Castle and later McDonald's, the hamburger quickly became an American icon. Fast food revolutionized how we think about hamburgers, turning them from a homemade delicacy into a product that could be mass-produced for millions to enjoy daily. Today, factories across the U.S. churn out millions of hamburgers a day, using cutting-edge technology to ensure consistency, flavor, and speed. The ingredients: farm to factory. Now, let's break down the core of any good burger: the ingredients. It all starts with the beef, which usually comes from farms across the country. These farms raise cattle specifically for food processing, and the process of transforming this raw beef into a factory-made hamburger begins here. Once the cattle are processed, the beef is transported to food processing factories, where it's inspected for quality by the USDA. Only the highest quality beef makes it through, as these factories are required to meet strict standards to ensure that the final product is safe and delicious. Inside the factory, the beef is cut into manageable portions, and the trimming process begins. This is where excess fat and bone are removed, leaving only the lean meat that will be ground down into the perfect hamburger patty. To give the burgers their signature flavor, seasoning like salt, pepper, and other spices are mixed into the meat using massive food processing machines that can handle thousands of pounds of beef at a time. Grinding and shaping the patties. After the beef is seasoned, the next step is grinding. Large grinding machines transform the seasoned beef into a fine mixture, perfect for forming hamburger patties. Unlike your home kitchen, where you might use a small meat grinder, factory food processing machines are designed to grind hundreds of pounds of meat every minute. These machines ensure that every batch of ground beef is consistent in texture and flavor. Once the meat is finely ground, it's time to form the patties. The ground beef moves down a conveyor belt and into a patty-forming machine. This incredible piece of machinery automatically divides the ground beef into perfectly sized portions and presses them into uniform, circular patties. Each patty weighs exactly the same, typically around 4 to 6 ounces, ensuring that the cooking process will be consistent across the board. It's a well-oiled system, literally. These machines are designed to function efficiently, producing hundreds of burger patties every minute. And because of their speed and precision, the hamburgers you eat from fast food chains or buy at the grocery store will always be the same, every single time. Now that the patties are formed, it's time for what many consider the best part: the cooking. But how do factories cook thousands of burgers so quickly without sacrificing flavor or juiciness? The answer lies in the sophisticated grilling equipment used in food factories. The patties travel through what's called a grill zone, a large conveyor belt with industrial-sized grills underneath. These grills mimic the backyard grilling experience, but on a much larger scale. The patties are seared on high heat to lock in the juices, giving them that delicious, crispy outer layer that burger lovers crave. To ensure even cooking, the patties pass through different process zones. These are stages where the cooking temperature is controlled, ensuring the meat cooks thoroughly while still retaining its moisture. As the patties sizzle away, a steam system may be employed to help keep the burgers juicy. In some factories, a secondary cooking process takes place where the patties are lightly steamed to ensure that every bite is moist and flavorful. Cooling and packaging the patties. Once the patties are fully cooked, They need to cool down quickly to maintain freshness and prevent bacterial growth. In the cooling zone, conveyor belts carry the patties through a temperature-controlled area where they cool rapidly but evenly. It's a crucial step. Too fast, and the burgers dry out. Too slow, and they could spoil. Next comes the packaging process. Using advanced food processing technology, each patty is placed into airtight packaging to preserve its freshness. This ensures that the burger you eventually eat will taste just as good as the moment it came off the grill. Modern packaging machines are a marvel of efficiency, capable of sealing hundreds of patties per minute. And let's not forget labeling. Each package is labeled with the necessary nutritional information, the date it was packaged, and a lot number for tracking. These steps are essential to maintaining food safety standards, ensuring that consumers can trust the product they're purchasing. The buns. From dough to oven. A burger isn't complete without the bun, right? After all, it's what holds everything together. In hamburger factories, bun making is a whole process in itself. It starts with the dough, which is prepared in massive mixing machines capable of handling hundreds of pounds of ingredients at once. The dough is mixed with yeast, flour, sugar, and water to form the perfect burger bun base. Once the dough is mixed, it's portioned into individual bun shapes by, you guessed it, another food processing machine. These dough portions are placed on large baking sheets and sent down the line into enormous ovens that bake thousands of buns in a single batch. Each bun is baked to golden perfection, ensuring it's fluffy on the inside but sturdy enough to hold that juicy patty without falling apart. After baking, the buns go through a quick cooling process similar to the patties before they're packaged and sent off to meet their beefy counterparts. Assembly, putting it all together. Now comes the fun part, putting the entire hamburger together. This step is all about automation. The patties and buns are brought together on an assembly line, where machines carefully place the patties onto the buns. If the burger is being made for a fast food chain, machines will also add toppings like lettuce, tomato, and cheese. Condiments like ketchup and mustard are applied using precision nozzles, ensuring just the right amount of sauce goes on each burger. The finished burgers are then wrapped or boxed, ready for distribution. This highly efficient assembly process allows factories to produce thousands of hamburgers in a short amount of time, all while maintaining consistency and quality. Final packaging and distribution. With the hamburgers assembled and ready, they're packaged for distribution. Large packaging machines place the burgers in boxes or wrappers, which are then sealed to keep them fresh during transport. Factories often use special packaging designed to keep the burgers warm, especially if they're being delivered directly to fast food restaurants. From there, the burgers are loaded onto refrigerated trucks and distributed across the country. Whether they're heading to fast food chains, grocery stores, or even school cafeterias, these burgers are kept at the perfect temperature to ensure they're fresh and ready to enjoy by the time they reach the consumer. So, there you have it. From farm to factory, we've taken a deep dive into how hamburgers are made, revealing the incredible technology and machines that make it possible to produce millions of hamburgers every day. From the grinding of the beef to the perfect baking of the buns, this process is a well-oiled machine, just like the burgers themselves. If you're loving these behind-the-scenes looks at how your favorite foods are made, don't forget to subscribe for more. Drop us a comment about what food you'd like to see next. Innovations in hamburger production. Now, let's talk a little about some of the innovations happening in the world of hamburger production. As more consumers become interested in health and sustainability, factories are evolving to meet those demands. For instance, AI and automation are now being used to improve quality control and reduce food waste in factories. These advanced systems monitor everything from ingredient quality to the exact temperature of the grills. And let's not forget about the rise of plant-based burgers, which are becoming more popular in the market. Factories are adapting their processes to produce alternatives like veggie burgers, using the same high-tech machinery to ensure they taste just as good as the real thing.
Who doesn't love pizza? But have you ever wondered how it's made in a mega factory? In this video, we're going behind the scenes to explore the entire pizza-making process using cutting-edge technology. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so we can afford more free documentaries like this. Pizza, a dish that once symbolized the rustic kitchens of southern Italy, has transformed into one of the world's most beloved fast foods. Today, pizza is not only enjoyed in small family-owned pizzerias, but also in homes across the globe, thanks to the mass production capabilities of megafactories. As pizza's popularity soared over the past few decades, the need for large-scale production arose to meet the insatiable demand for this universally adored meal. Megafactories were born using state-of-the-art technology and streamlined processes to produce pizzas by the millions, all while maintaining the flavor and quality that make pizza so irresistible. Factory-made pizzas are different from their handcrafted counterparts not because of what they offer, but because of how they are produced. The process relies on intricate, automated systems designed to maintain consistency, taste, and texture. From the sourcing of ingredients to the precision of baking in high-tech conveyor ovens, each step is carefully controlled. This ensures that every pizza, whether frozen for later consumption or prepared fresh for immediate enjoyment, meets the high standards that consumers expect. In this journey through the world of pizza manufacturing, we'll explore how factories manage to produce millions of pizzas with exceptional precision and quality. From sourcing high-grade ingredients to ensuring each pizza is baked to perfection, let's delve into the process of how pizza is made in a mega factory. Sourcing and selection of ingredients. The quality of a pizza begins with its ingredients, and large-scale pizza factories prioritize sourcing the best ingredients possible. To meet the enormous demands of production, factories often establish long-term partnerships with farms and suppliers that specialize in producing large quantities of flour, tomatoes, dairy, and toppings. The base of every pizza starts with flour, which is sourced in bulk from suppliers that specialize in high-gluten wheat varieties. High-gluten flour is preferred because it results in dough with great elasticity and chewiness, characteristics that are essential for a good pizza crust. Factories work closely with millers to ensure that the flour meets strict specifications for protein content and moisture. Each batch of flour is carefully inspected to ensure consistency across the board. The simplicity of pizza dough belies the critical role played by yeast and water in the process. The yeast used in factories is often specially formulated for rapid proofing, meaning the dough rises quickly while still developing the flavors associated with traditional dough fermentation. Water quality is another essential factor. Factories carefully filter water to maintain a neutral pH, which ensures the dough consistency and flavor remain consistent across all batches. Tomato sauce production is an art in itself. Factories often source their tomatoes from regions known for high-quality production, such as California or Italy. These tomatoes are harvested at peak ripeness to ensure rich flavor, and they undergo extensive testing for acidity and sweetness before they are transformed into sauce. Cheese, particularly mozzarella, is the crown jewel of most pizzas. Factories source massive quantities of cheese, which are either produced on-site or delivered fresh from dairy suppliers. Mozzarella, with its excellent melting properties, is the most popular choice, but other cheeses, such as cheddar or Parmesan, are sometimes blended in for additional flavor. The variety of toppings available in mass-produced pizzas is staggering. From classic pepperoni to exotic vegetables and gourmet meats, the preparation of toppings in a factory is a feat of logistical precision. Factories source toppings from trusted suppliers who can meet strict food safety standards. Vegetables are flash frozen to preserve their freshness, while meats like pepperoni or sausage are pre-cooked to ensure they are safe for consumption. Before any of these ingredients enter the production line, they undergo rigorous quality control inspections. Samples are taken from each batch, and they are tested for factors like moisture content, flavor profile, and freshness. Only the highest quality ingredients pass this stage and move on to the next step in pizza production. The dough is the foundation of any pizza, and in a factory setting, preparing the dough on a massive scale requires precision and efficiency. Pizza factories produce dough in bulk, often handling hundreds of kilograms of flour at once. The dough-making process begins with mixing the core ingredients: flour, water, yeast, salt, and oil. Industrial dough mixers, which are vastly more powerful than anything found in a typical pizzeria, are used to combine these ingredients. These machines are equipped with sensors that measure the dough's hydration and texture throughout the mixing process. By using precise quantities of ingredients, the mixers ensure that each batch of dough has a consistent texture and elasticity. This precision is crucial for maintaining uniformity in the pizzas that will eventually be made from this dough. After mixing, the dough must be kneaded. Kneading helps to activate the gluten in the flour, which gives the dough its characteristic elasticity and chewiness. In a factory, kneading is done by mechanical arms that simulate the traditional hand kneading process on a much larger scale. These machines stretch and fold the dough repeatedly, working it into a smooth, supple consistency. The goal is to achieve a dough that is stretchy enough to hold up under the weight of toppings, but not so dense that it becomes tough when baked. Resting and proofing. Once kneaded, the dough is left to rest and proof. Proofing allows the yeast to ferment, producing gas bubbles that cause the dough to rise. In a factory setting, dough is proofed in climate-controlled chambers where the temperature and humidity are carefully regulated. These chambers ensure that the dough rises evenly and to the correct height. Depending on the type of pizza being made, the dough may be proofed for as little as 30 minutes or as long as several hours. Factories use specialized technology to monitor the fermentation process, ensuring the dough is neither over nor underproofed. Dough quality checks. Throughout the preparation process, samples of dough are taken for quality checks. Factory workers inspect the dough's texture, elasticity, and rise. Special attention is given to the dough's ability to hold its shape when stretched. If any issues are found, adjustments are made to subsequent batches to maintain consistency across the entire production line. With the dough now fully prepared, it's time to turn it into individual pizza bases. This is where the large-scale machinery of the factory really shines, as dough rolling and shaping are fully automated processes. Rolling the dough. The first step in shaping the dough is to roll it out into large flat sheets. Industrial dough rollers work much like a traditional rolling pin, but on a much larger and faster scale. The dough is fed into the machine, which flattens it to a precise thickness. Factories often produce multiple types of pizza crusts, such as thin crust, regular crust, or deep dish. So the dough rolling machine can be adjusted to create different thicknesses depending on the type of pizza being produced. Cutting and shaping. Once the dough is rolled out, it needs to be cut into individual pizza bases. This is done using automated cutters, which stamp out perfectly round pizza bases from the rolled dough. These cutters can be adjusted to produce different sizes, from small personal pizzas to large family-sized pizzas. Some factories even produce square or rectangular pizza bases for specific product lines. After cutting, any excess dough is collected and reprocessed to ensure that nothing goes to waste. Pre-baking for specific pizza varieties. For some pizza types, such as frozen or pre-made pizzas, the dough is partially baked before the toppings are added. This process, known as par baking, ensures that the crust has a firm structure before it is frozen. Par baking also helps to preserve the dough's texture during freezing and thawing, so that when the pizza is baked by the consumer, the crust has the right balance of crispiness and chewiness. Sauce preparation and application. Tomato sauce is the soul of a pizza, providing the base flavor that complements the cheese and toppings. Factories prepare pizza sauce in bulk, using carefully tested recipes to maintain flavor consistency across millions of pizzas. Sauce production. The sauce used in factory-made pizzas is often a proprietary blend of tomatoes, herbs, and spices. The tomatoes are sourced from large farms and are processed into sauce soon after they are harvested to preserve their flavor and nutritional content. Factories typically have strict controls over the recipe to ensure that the sauce tastes the same across every pizza produced. Like the other ingredients, pizza sauce is subject to quality control checks. Factories use both human taste testers and machines to evaluate the flavor, consistency, and pH of the sauce. These checks ensure that the sauce isn't too watery or too thick, and that the flavor profile remains consistent. Applying the sauce. Once the sauce is prepared, it is applied to the pizza bases using automated machines. These machines are designed to apply an even layer of sauce to each pizza, ensuring that no pizza is under or over-sauced. The sauce is dispensed in a spiral pattern, starting from the center of the pizza and moving outward. This ensures even coverage so that every bite of the pizza contains the right amount of sauce. The machine's speed and volume can be adjusted based on the size of the pizza and the style of sauce application. Large-scale preparation. After the sauce is applied, the pizza moves down the production line to the cheese and topping station. Here, automation plays a crucial role in ensuring every pizza receives the correct amount of cheese and toppings. Mozzarella cheese is the most commonly used cheese for pizza, and in a factory setting, it is processed in bulk. Factories often receive large blocks of mozzarella, which are then shredded or diced on site. The cheese is stored in climate-controlled rooms to ensure that it stays fresh and maintains its optimal melting properties. Once shredded, the cheese is fed into automated topping machines that sprinkle the cheese evenly over the sauce. The machines are calibrated to distribute a specific amount of cheese based on the size and type of pizza. Toppings such as pepperoni, mushrooms, olives, and peppers are also prepared in bulk. Vegetables are washed, sliced, and flash frozen to preserve their freshness, while meats like pepperoni are pre-cooked and sliced into uniform pieces. Each topping is stored in refrigerated units until it is ready to be applied to the pizzas. Automated topping application. Just like the cheese, toppings are applied using automated systems. These machines are programmed to add the correct amount of toppings to each pizza. Sensors monitor the distribution of the toppings to ensure that they are spread evenly across the surface. For pizzas with multiple toppings, the machine applies them in layers, starting with the largest toppings, such as pepperoni, and finishing with smaller toppings like olives or onions. This careful layering ensures that the pizza maintains its structural integrity during baking. The baking process, with the dough rolled out, the sauce applied, and the toppings in place, the pizzas are ready to be baked. In a factory, baking is done in conveyor ovens that are specifically designed for high-volume pizza production. High-speed conveyor ovens. Conveyor ovens are massive machines that can bake hundreds of pizzas at once. The pizzas are placed on a conveyor belt that moves through the oven at a controlled speed. The temperature of the oven is carefully regulated to ensure that the pizzas are cooked evenly. Conveyor ovens have multiple heating zones, allowing the dough and toppings to cook at different rates. For example, the bottom of the pizza is exposed to more heat to create a crispy crust, while the top receives just enough heat to melt the cheese without burning the toppings. Different types of pizzas require different baking times and temperatures. For example, a thin crust pizza will bake at a higher temperature for a shorter time, while a deep dish pizza needs to be baked at a lower temperature for a longer period. Factories have precise settings for each pizza variety, ensuring that every pizza is baked to perfection. Monitoring the baking process. Advanced technology is used to monitor the baking process in real time. Sensors in the oven track the temperature and doneness of each pizza. If the system detects that a pizza is undercooked or overcooked, adjustments are made automatically to the oven settings. This ensures that every pizza that comes out of the oven is perfectly baked. During production, maintaining quality is critical in mass pizza production, and factories employ several quality control measures throughout the entire process. Even with all the automation, human inspectors play a key role in ensuring that the pizzas meet the factory's quality standards. These inspectors visually check pizzas at various stages of production, looking for any imperfections in the dough, sauce application, or topping distribution. Additionally, factories are increasingly using AI-driven technology to monitor production in real time. AI systems can analyze each pizza for consistency, detecting even the smallest deviations from the standard. Food safety is a top priority in pizza production. Factories adhere to strict food safety regulations, including regular cleaning of equipment, temperature checks for ingredients, and rigorous hygiene protocols for workers. The factory environment is carefully controlled to prevent contamination, and all ingredients are stored and handled in compliance with food safety guidelines. Once the pizzas are baked, they are quickly frozen and packaged to ensure that they remain fresh until they reach the consumer. Flash freezing. After baking, pizzas are immediately flash frozen. Flash freezing is a process in which the pizza is rapidly cooled to a very low temperature in a matter of minutes. This prevents the formation of large ice crystals, which can damage the texture of the pizza during storage. Flash freezing also locks in the pizza's flavor and freshness, so that when the consumer bakes the pizza at home, it tastes as though it was freshly made. Once frozen, pizzas are packaged using automated systems. The pizzas are placed in cardboard boxes, which are then wrapped in plastic to seal in freshness. Factories use specialized packaging machines that can process thousands of pizzas per hour. The packaging is designed not only to protect the pizza during shipping, but also to be visually appealing to consumers. Many factories are also moving toward using eco-friendly packaging materials to reduce their environmental impact. After packaging, the pizzas are ready to be shipped to supermarkets, restaurants, and consumers around the world. Pizzas are stored in large, temperature-controlled warehouses until they are ready to be shipped. Cold storage is essential to maintaining the quality of the frozen pizzas. When it comes time for distribution, pizzas are loaded into refrigerated trucks, which keep the pizzas frozen during transit. Large pizza factories partner with logistics companies to ensure that the pizzas are delivered quickly and efficiently. The goal is to minimize the time between when the pizza leaves the factory and when it reaches the store, ensuring that the pizzas remain fresh and safe for consumption. Before retail, before pizzas reach store shelves, they undergo one last round of quality checks to ensure they are ready for consumers. Factories regularly take samples from each batch of pizzas and subject them to taste tests. These tests ensure that the pizzas meet the factory's flavor and texture standards. Additionally, pizzas are tested for structural integrity, ensuring that they hold up during transport and baking. Final inspections. Every packaged pizza is inspected one last time for any defects. If any issues are found, the pizza is removed from the batch and replaced with a new one. The scale and efficiency of pizza production. The process of making pizza in a mega factory is a remarkable combination of food science, engineering, and automation. From sourcing the finest ingredients to baking each pizza in high-speed ovens, every step of the process is meticulously designed to ensure that consumers receive a delicious, high-quality product. As technology continues to evolve, so too will the efficiency and sustainability of factory-made pizza production. For now, factories continue to churn out millions of pizzas, keeping the world satisfied one slice at a time.